It's a chilly autumn morning, and the scent of rain still lingers from the previous night's downpour. My wife, Jasmine, packs her purse with the usual hurried finesse of someone perpetually late. She's been jittery all morning, nervously checking her phone, and now she announces, as if remembering something trivial, "I have that clinic appointment today, remember?" I nod, handing her the cash I withdrew yesterday. It's supposed to be for the third abortion, the third unplanned pregnancy in just over a year. It never sits right with me, but what do I know? I'm just the husband trying to support his wife through tough decisions. She kisses my cheek, a fleeting touch, and hurries out, leaving a trace of her floral perfume in the air. The door slams shut behind her, a punctuation mark to the growing distance between us. I watch her from the living room window as she hails a cab, then turn away with a sigh. Something feels off. It always does, but today the nagging doubt is louder, more insistent. I decide to follow her, telling myself it's just to ease my mind. I grab my keys and drive, keeping a safe distance. Instead of heading to the clinic, Jasmine's cab stops in a bustling downtown area. She meets a man there, they exchange a brief, tense conversation before he pockets the money I gave her. Then, hand in hand, they disappear into a boutique hotel that definitely doesn't double as a medical facility. The revelation hits like a punch to the gut. I park my car, hands shaking, mind racing. All this time, the lies weren't just little white lies, they were calculated betrayals. Jasmine hadn't been going to the clinic. There were no pregnancies to terminate. It was all a ruse to fund her affair. Anger boils within me, but it's cold and sharp. I need proof. I take my camera from the back seat, old habits from my days as a freelance photographer, and follow them inside. It's risky, but necessary. I find their room number by a stroke of luck when I overhear her call out to him in the hallway, her laughter echoing like a taunt. I don't barge in. Instead, I wait and collect my evidence, pictures of them entering the room, the receipt for the room charged to a credit card that wasn't mine, whispers through the door confirming their affair. The puzzle pieces slot together into a portrait of betrayal. Back in my car, the photos on my camera screen are damning. The drive home is a blur. The house feels emptier when I return, suffocated by the sheer weight of deceit. When Jasmine returns, her smile fades at the sight of me sitting in the dark, the evidence laid out on the coffee table. Her excuses start immediately, a desperate symphony of lies and half-truths, but I raise a hand to stop her. "Save it," I say, my voice calm, devoid of the warmth it once held for her. I know everything. The confrontation is brief. Jasmine's tears and pleas mingle with the sound of rain starting up again outside, but my decision is firm. This is the end for us, I declare. The marriage, the shared dreams, all tainted beyond redemption. As she packs her things, her sobs are background noise to the storm inside me. I've already called my lawyer, set the wheels of revenge in motion. Her life, as she knows it, will crumble just as she shattered mine. By morning, Jasmine is gone, and I'm alone with the ruins of a life I once thought was mine. The morning light seeps through the blinds, casting long shadows across the living room where last night's revelations had shattered the silence. Today, the house feels larger, emptier, as if Jasmine's departure took more than just her presence, it took the soul of our home. Yet, the quiet fuels my resolve rather than douses it. I start the day with a phone call to Jasmine's sister, Andrea. She answers on the third ring, her voice cautious. "Hello?" "Andrea, it's me," I begin, skipping pleasantries. "I know about Jasmine and the other man." "Did you know?" There's a pause, a stuttered breath. Yes, I knew, but I thought she was going to tell you herself. She promised she would end it." Anger simmers within me, but I need information, not more enemies. I need to know everything, Andrea. "Who is he?" Reluctantly, she spills the details. The man's name is Mark, a co-worker of Jasmine's. The affair started over a year ago, growing from flirty texts to secret rendezvous. Andrea's discomfort is palpable through the phone, her guilt for her silence a heavy shadow between us. I hang up with a new target for my burgeoning plan of revenge. The gears turn quickly now, propelled by the fuel of betrayal. I drive to Jasmine's workplace, a marketing firm housed in a sleek downtown building. My heart pounds a fierce rhythm against my ribs as I ascend in the elevator to the floor her office is on. Stepping out, I'm greeted by the buzz of a typical workday. I spot Mark almost immediately, recognizable from the photos, tall, with a confident air that now seems more like arrogance. I approach him directly, my steps determined, my mission clear. "Mark?" I say as I reach his desk. He looks up, a practiced smile quickly fading when he sees my expression. "Yes? Can I help you?" "We need to talk." "Now," I state, low and firm. His eyes widen as he stands, following me to a vacant conference room. Once inside, I confront him, voice steady despite the storm inside. "I know about you and Jasmine. I saw you two yesterday." Mark's facade crumbles, his composure slipping. "Look, I didn't mean for it to go this far," he stammers, the veneer of charm dissolving into panic. "Don't," I cut him off. "You're going to tell me everything, and then you're going to help me." "Help you? With what?" His voice is a mix of confusion and fear. "You'll see. Just start talking." Mark confesses, his words tumbling out in a rush. The affair, the lies, the money, all laid bare. He tells me about the hotel stays, the gifts, the plans they made. I record every word, a digital confession that will serve as leverage. I need him to be my inside man, to unravel Jasmine's web of lies further. "You're going to send her a message," I instruct after he finishes. "Tell her you need to meet." She thinks I'm broken, defeated. But this is just the beginning. Mark nods, his agreement born of fear rather than loyalty. I leave him with instructions and a warning. As I exit the building, the weight of my plan settles around me like armor. The next steps of my revenge start to form, each more calculated than the last. I'll dismantle the life Jasmine built on lies, piece by piece. And as I drive away, the cityscape blurs past, a mere backdrop to the drama unfolding at my command. Late afternoon sun filters through the blinds, casting sharp lines across my face as I sit at the kitchen table, my laptop open in front of me. I'm scrolling through Jasmine's social media, now a digital battlefield where I plan my next moves. As I work, my phone buzzes, a message from Mark, confirming the meeting with Jasmine is set for tonight at the same hotel where they once found refuge in each other's arms. I reply with a curt, "Good. Remember what you need to do." My fingers hesitate over the keys, the gravity of betrayal weighting every action I take. Hours later, I park across the street from the hotel, a nondescript rental car shielding me from immediate recognition. My heart pounds not just with the adrenaline of confrontation, but with the satisfaction of a trap set and ready to spring. Inside my jacket, a small, high-quality voice recorder, my insurance policy, is clipped securely. I check my watch and head inside, blending into the crowd of evening revelers. The lobby is a flurry of activity, but my focus is razor-sharp, my target clear. Mark meets me near the elevators, his face pale, eyes darting nervously. "She's already upstairs," he whispers, handing me a room key card discreetly. I told her I had to make a call and would be right up. "Good," I nod, my voice low. "Go back up in 10 minutes. No sooner. When you enter, start the conversation as we planned." He nods, swallowing hard, and I turn away, my steps measured and silent as I make my way to the designated room. At the door, I pause, listening for any sound. Hearing nothing, I swipe the key card and enter. The room is dimly lit, the curtains drawn. Jasmine sits at a small table, a glass of wine in her hand, her phone beside it. She looks up, startled, as I close the door behind me. What are you doing here?" she stammers, rising to her feet, her eyes wide with shock. "I could ask you the same," I say, my tone deceptively calm as I take a seat across from her. "But we both know why you're here, don't we, Jasmine?" Her face flushes, anger and fear mingling in her expression. "I don't have to listen to this. I'm leaving." As she stands, I hold up the recorder. Sit down, Jasmine. We're not finished here. Not by a long shot. Reluctantly, she sits, her hands clenched in her lap. What do you want from me? Truth. Accountability, I say sharply. You lied about being pregnant, about needing money for abortions. You cheated, stole from me, from us. She opens her mouth, then closes it, tears brimming in her eyes. I made a mistake, she whispers. A mistake? No, you orchestrated deceit. And now, you'll face the consequences. Before she can respond, the door opens, and Mark steps in, hesitating when he sees the tension in the air. Jasmine, he starts, but I cut him off. Tell her, Mark. Tell her what you told me. Mark looks between us, his resolve crumbling. I told him everything, Jas. About us, the money. I'm sorry. Her gaze snaps to him, betrayal written across her features. You did what? I stand, the chair scraping back loudly. This ends now, Jasmine. I want a divorce, and I want you out of my life for good. Her tears fall freely now, but there's a cold determination in my heart that wasn't there before. I leave them there, Jasmine crying, Mark awkward and remorseful, as I walk out of the room. The drive home is less blurred than before, more definitive. The sting of the betrayal lingers, but so does the relief of actions taken, of standing up against the deceit that had marred my life. The evening air is crisp, carrying a hint of winter as I walk through the empty streets, my steps echoing in the silence. The city seems different tonight, aware that a final act is unfolding, a drama steeped in betrayal and cold vengeance. My mind races with the details of my plan, each piece meticulously arranged over the past few weeks. After exposing Jasmine and Mark, it wasn't enough to just leave. I needed a definitive closure, a punishment fitting their deceit. I arrive at my destination, a derelict warehouse on the outskirts of town. The location is intentional, isolated, perfect for what needs to be done without interruption. Inside, I've set up what appears to be a meeting, only this meeting is a trap. Earlier, I'd sent messages from Jasmine's phone, luring Mark here with the promise of reconciling and discussing our future together. The deceit in my actions mirrors theirs, but with a darker purpose. The interior of the warehouse is dimly lit, the shadows forming long, menacing shapes against the concrete walls. I hear footsteps, hesitant, then growing bolder. Mark enters, looking around, the confusion evident on his face as he calls out, Jasmine? Are you here? I step from the shadows, my presence startling him. She's not coming, Mark. What is this? Mark stammers, his voice tinged with fear. This, I say, stepping closer, is the end. I advance toward him, and he backs away, tripping over a cable I've deliberately left across his path. He falls, his arms flailing, and I'm on him in an instant, my hands clamped around his wrists, pinning him to the cold floor. You and Jasmine played me for a fool. Now, I get to return the favor, I say, my voice low and menacing. Please, I cut him off. You're going to call Jasmine now. Tell her to come here if she ever wants to see you again. Fear flashes in his eyes, but he nods, understanding the severity of his situation. I hand him his phone and he dials, his hands shaking. The phone rings, and after a brief conversation filled with his lies and reassurances, he hangs up. Now, we wait, I say, pulling up a chair and sitting a few feet away, watching him closely. It doesn't take long for Jasmine to arrive, her face pale as she enters the warehouse. Her eyes widen in horror at the sight of Mark on the floor, my looming figure a shadow of vengeance. What is this? What are you doing? Jasmine cries out, her voice breaking. This is where it ends, Jasmine, I say, standing up. You both took everything from me. Now I take everything from you. I move quickly, grabbing her arm and pulling her down next to Mark. Their fear is palpable, their pleading eyes meeting mine as I reveal the true extent of my plan. Tonight, you lose each other and everything else, I declare, pulling out my phone to show them the live feed of a fire engulfing a building, the same building where both of their careers were built, where they conducted their affair. I had ensured it was empty, but their lives as they knew them would burn to ashes. You set us up, Jasmine gasps, horror-stricken. Yes, I confirm with icy detachment. Just like you set me up to believe your lies. As they struggle, I step back, knowing that my revenge is complete. The destruction of their professional lives mirrors the destruction they brought upon my personal life. They are left with nothing, betrayed by their own actions and by each other. Leaving them in the warehouse, bound by their deceit and surrounded by the ruins of their choices, I walk away. The night air feels colder now, but there's a fire within me, a sense of justice served that warms the chilling solitude. The final chapter closes on the stark image of two traitors, defeated and destroyed, their cries echoing unanswered in the empty warehouse. The hero walks away, the ties of the past severed, a future untainted by betrayal stretching out before him.